restoring a princess, and I have the pleasure of being with the CEO of the Princess Juliana International Airport, Mr. MINGO. How are you?
I'm doing good, thank you.
So let's get right into it. We're going to jump right in head first. 7 years to rebuild an airport. Why?
You know, if you put it in perspective, yes, you think it's way too long, even in my book. But if you zoom in and you really see what happened, then you will understand. Let me put it in a different context. We only actually signed with the main contractor in 2021.
Okay.
So if you count it back, we're only busy a little small 3 years. And we should be finished within 3 years. So 21, 22, 23, 24. So within 3 years, we have reconstructed the airport.
Okay.
And why it took so long from 17 when it happened to signing the contract is the administrative part, the funding, and of course getting the airport back on its feet when it got damaged in 2017.
And then we had COVID too.
Correct, but you know, everyone is using a COVID excuse. I wanted to leave that to the last.
Okay.
But actually, the administrative part was actually the biggest challenge in the beginning, getting the funding, government changed, you know, getting everyone on the same page. Everyone had their ideas of how to fund this, but we took it to the level of doing the right thing.
When you mentioned funding, how much funding are we talking when it comes to money?
If you look at the overall project, the project is one of the biggest construction projects in St. Maarten at $180 million at least. The funding part, we did around a 150, a little above the 150. But it of course grew. There are some little components in there that we did ourselves, but the main funding came from the Trust Fund, the World Bank, and the other part came from the European Investment Bank.
Okay. When we talk about running the airport and getting things together, you actually got Schiphol involved. And there was some, you know, a lot of talk about why are we getting Schiphol involved in doing the Princess? Can you go into that?
Well, let me simplify it. You know, end of the day, when I came here as CEO in 2019, I started 2019, so I started like 1.5 years after the disaster of Irma. I saw how big the problem was, and it was like, whoa. And I look at the team that we had, and the team that we had was good in running operations, running an airport. And that's completely different competencies than running a project, especially the major project that we needed. So let me put it in a different angle. You have a university with great professors, they can teach. Can they build a university? I don't think so. And that is the same philosophy I took here. I needed to get a great team on board. I needed to do it quite quick. We had logistics, we had business, we had organization, and of course the rebuilding of the airport. And I reached out to Schiphol. They're well renowned in the airport business. They're in JFK, they do Terminal 5, Terminal 4 actually. They do Aruba. So I said, I reached out to them, you know, can you assist me here in St. Maarten? And I did that immediately, and the answer was yes. I got it funded through the Netherlands, and my team has Schiphol specialists on board, both on the project as well as the finance executive as well as the supervisory boards.
How difficult was it to get the Netherlands on board to restore the Princess? Or was it difficult?
No, I think once you show your plan, we came with a comprehensive program, of course, to rebuild the airport. And once they saw that we were serious and we meant business, they were part of you know, rebuilding St. Maarten. Don't forget, the Netherlands nearly put up $500 million in the recovery program for St. Maarten. They put it in this the Trust Fund, which is managed by the NRPB and the World Bank. And that was actually to rebuild St. Maarten. So some of the funding for rebuilding this airport came from that Trust Fund. And of course, they wanted to make sure that the money was spent wisely, and that's why we have certain corporate governance, you know, involved to make sure it's done the right way. You know, you're dealing with taxpayers' money here, so you have to do it the right way.
I mentioned 7 years. Okay, so we're coming close to the finish line on this 7th year. When can we see the Princess
So let's listen to that 7 years again. You know, the overall project, it's a good story.
Okay.
We started in 2021, end of 2021. We signed in September, and the actual work started in December 21. So we had some pitfalls. One of them was the intumescent paint. I don't know if you remember, you did one of the shows on the fire protection exactly layer. That pushed us back 7 months, and it had a price tag of $7 million. So that is something that the engineers didn't see, that it was foresee that it was so intense. But nevertheless, whether we found it before or after, it had to be done. So it isn't like a new oversight. It is more something that we didn't understand at that moment, but we still had to do it whether we knew it from before or afterwards. That is one, and the most crucial part of this project that gave us more, that required more time, was the overambitious planning. So this plan was made back in 2019, beginning, let's say end of 2018, 19, and we didn't know the moving of all of these. It was a complicated puzzle. So we're dealing with a single terminal, single runway, single roof airport, live operations while we're doing rebuilding. So shoveling these live operations, maintaining safety, maintaining the quality, and all of this is being done under one roof while you're doing reconstruction. So a formula for a lot of headache. And when things go good, it's the airport. If things go bad, it's the CEO. So, you know, so...
Not necessarily, but yeah, I see where you're coming from.
Yeah, but that's the responsibility you take. So I do want to give and take my hat off to my team, operations, all of the workers around the airport, in the airport, from the airport, that they have really, you know, did all the heavy lifting the 7 years. We're reaching to the final chapters now. We completed phase 1, which was the check-in hall, actually the departure hall, phase 2, the check-in hall, and now we're going to phase 3, which is the arrival hall. And this last phase is the final chapter before we complete the whole terminal reconstruction.
CEO takes the blame. Arrivals, the temporary arrival facility, the TAF. You look on social media, you read the newspaper, you hear locals, you get a lot of complaints about the TAF.
This is oversight of ours. This is actually a mistake we made. The TAF, the arrival hall, was supposed to be there for a few months. But because of the delays of phase 1 and phase 2, it's being pushed to phase 3. Now we're going to have to handle it longer in the arrival hall. So the arrival hall was too small. We did a queuing area, and that is actually not a comfortable queuing area outside. But we have to sweat it out till August, September. The arrival hall will be finished in October. The first week of October, we're going to officially open it. But in the meantime, we could move some of the traffic in different directions. We're going to improve the arrival area also. So in a nutshell, a few more months. So we have June nearly finished, July, August, September. So we are talking about 3 more months where we have to go through the TAF.
Hopefully no hurricane, knock on wood.
Yes.
You mentioned arrivals. When it comes to arrivals at the Princess, how are numbers looking compared to, you know, this year, next year? I know.
One of the programs that we did, so in 2019 when I started, we just had a new commercial division. We never had, the airport never had a commercial division. They had a department that used to support the airlines, but now we really have a commercial division that does marketing for airlift. So we really go out there and touch the airlines, touch the destinations, and let them know that we're here. We just released the summer schedule, which gives you an overview of what can you expect. We're going to release W24, which is the winter schedule. This is unique. I've hired...
Nothing like that has been done before in St. Lawrence.
No, I've hired a commercial person from the telecom. So he also went from ring to wing. Yeah, so, and he's doing a great job. And actually, the whole commercial team, they're starting to understand that you do need to advertise or you need to showcase what you have, St. Maarten is a great destination. We have a unique selling point. I think the French and Dutch combination. Get a Gouda cheese on the Dutch side and a croissant on the French side. You know, it's something the other islands don't have. They have their unique product. We have our unique stand, and it seems that always there's an attraction for this island. Coming back to the numbers, this year we'll be running very good numbers. We're 15% above what we expect. Last year we did close to 1.5 million. So this year we're going to go above that, at least 10 points above it. So I want to be very conservative. I think it's going to even be more than that. But the numbers this year will be great. And I'll give you a simple example. Air France announced 2 daily flights from Charles de Gaulle, and there are 2 330s, so 300 seats. The other islands, our neighboring islands, which is facilitated by Winair, which is Anguilla, St. Bart's, Tortola, and they are also attracting a lot of traffic through our airport.
Nice.
So, in a nutshell, this airport is not doing bad at all.
Okay. So, when can we see? You said October would be arrivals. When can we see the airport completely finished?
Let's put some dates on the table. October, the first week, it needs to be done. That's it. No more excuses. I told them I'm not going to accept nothing. The first week of October, it has to be done. November 14th, there's a big ceremony where we'll do some ribbon cutting. And on the week after, we're going to have a big conference, a DCCA conference. That's all the Dutch airports. The airport has to be done the first week of October. That's it.
So you drew a line in the sand and said, "This is it."
No more. No more delays. Pressure. Pressure makes good.
Bust pipes too.
It makes diamonds.
Makes
also.
diamonds too. Yeah, absolutely. In closing, what would you like to say to the people of St. Maarten and the tourists who have been visiting this island in the past, and every time they come, they see a little bit here, a little bit here. Then, what would you like to say to them in closing about the airport?
Well, it was it's a good story. The recovery or the reconstruction of the airport is a good story. I want to thank all the hard work that has been done, all the heavy lifting of the staff, of the stakeholders, of the main contractor. There's a lot of good people out there. The government of the Netherlands, they've all supported this project because the importance of this airport drives the economy of St. Maarten. And a lot of people seems not to understand, that's the airport. No, it really does. The airport functions, St. Maarten will function. In closing, of course, for the visitors, you'll see a new airport, you'll see a state-of-the-art airport, and I think St. Maarten will set the bar. You know, once that princess is back in her full glory,
get her crown back on,
she'll be in the best shape of her life. And of course, it is our job to maintain that she stays in shape, and we need to keep an eye on her because, as beautiful as she is, she's also fragile. Yeah.
Mr. Mingo, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you
very much. It's Restoring a Princess. Make sure you follow all of our episodes, so make sure you click that bell beneath us and just follow us, and we got a lot more coming up. Restoring a Princess. Until next time, this is G Money.